I'm not going to banter back and forth with you. Thank you. Thank you. You had your time. You may sit down.
That mayor was unhappy with me because I just asked if he and his fellow politicians were on the take. I asked because they want to seize a valuable piece of land. Check out this view. Wouldn't you like to have an apartment with this view of the New York City skyline? It's a rare, gorgeous location right on the Hudson River. Right now, there's nothing here but dirt. So this man, who works for the developer Maxell Group, wants to build apartments like these. Thousands of people could live here with this great view.
And this whole pier would be open to the public.
They'd also build a facility for ferries, so people on this side of the river could commute to Manhattan on ferries like that one.
Ferry would come right in here and go from here straight to Midtown Manhattan.
Sounds good to me. But then the politicians in this town said, no, forget about it. We're going to seize the property and spend millions of taxpayer dollars to put our Department of Public Works here. This little department, it has just 13 employees, plus these trucks. The garbage trucks will like this.
This is a great, you're absolutely right.
The city does say we'll also put in a park and parking, but at taxpayer expense. Maxell offered parking and parks at no cost.
Parks, we were offering mass transit, and all at no cost to taxpayers.
Plus, the town would collect an additional $12 million in taxes every year. Why would Edgewater say no to that?
The unsuccessful bidder is a fellow named Fred Davies, told us, you will never be able to develop this property.
Fred Davies says he's the biggest apartment developer in town. He also says you can't be in Edgewater and not be affiliated with me. Davies also controls this New Jersey bank. And I wonder if he controls the politicians in town too. Because the lawsuit filed by Maxell alleges corrupt transactions between Davies and Edgewater's politicians.
Ongoing relationships with them, jobs, undervalued rentals, loans for their business purposes through a bank that Mr. Davies started and has the controlling interest in.
Sounds like Mr. Davies controls the town.
That seems unfortunately self-evident.
Edgewater Mayor Michael McPartland's connected to Davies. The mayor lives in this building. It's quite elegant with statues and fountains. And it happens to be owned by Fred Davies. According to the lawsuit, the mayor pays below market rent, though the mayor told the New York Times he doesn't pay below market rent. The mayor and city council say they have a good reason for using eminent domain and taxpayer money to seize Maxell's development. They say Maxell's project was just too much. The developer's proposal is too big, says the mayor.
They just approved a larger project with a more intense density, and guess for whom?
For Fred Davies. Work is already going on his site because somehow Davies
got approvals for a density of and population of people that would occupy it in excess of what we were seeking.
250 more apartments, 4 giant buildings, twice as tall as Maxell's proposal. We tried to ask Fred Davies about all this, but he didn't respond to our calls and emails. How can the town justify approving dense development for Davies while rejecting a smaller proposal from a competitor? I tried to ask Edgewater's mayor and the city council about this, but not one would agree to talk. So I came here to a city council meeting, and I asked, "Are you on the take?" I should explain why I'm asking that in a largely empty room. The council session was full earlier, but questions from people like me weren't allowed until most everyone had left. Are you on the take? Because you're rejecting one building in favor of the one owned by the guy where you live.
Mr. Mayor, as your legal counsel, I'm going to suggest and recommend that you don't answer the questions of this gentleman right here.
Understood.
And I'm certainly not with that tone and the objectionable tone.
We just set the rule.
Do you want to say?
If you want to ask us questions that are pertaining to the town or anything that's going on here, you're more than welcome to use your 5 minutes to do that.
So I tried. The big developer in town said, more or less, nobody developed here but me, And that's the way it's turned out. And you're going to put the Department of Public Works there instead?
All right. Are you done with your?
You done? You got a few.
Well, I asked questions.
Well, like I said, we answer it when you're finished, and when we close the meeting, when you're finished with your comments.
At this point, I thought I might actually get my questions answered. Is it true that 4 of you are getting loans from Mr. Davies' bank? And is it true that you get a discounted apartment in Mr. Davies' building?
Again, Mr. Mayor, I don't think it's appropriate.
But no answer.
Are you finished? Are you finished?
He's done.
Yeah,
it's fine.
He's done? Very good. Is there anyone else in the public that wishes to be heard? Anyone? Close the meeting to the public.
Should I stick around and someone will talk to me or not?
You're welcome to stick around.
You're welcome to stick around. It's fine.
You
But
said you might-
I'm not going to banter back and forth with you. Thank you. Thank you. You had your time. You may sit down.
And that was that. Maxwell's lawsuit claims the mayor and the council have engaged in corrupt transactions to favor Fred Davies.
So he's killing off competition. It's as simple as that.
A great thing about capitalism is that the way to get rich is to serve your customers well. Developers can't really be thugs. They can't use force. They can't tell other developers you can't build here unless they have cronies in government. And that's not capitalism, that's crony capitalism. Actually, it's corruption. To me, that sure seems to be what's going on here.